You know, it's very important to know as a client how to handle your doctor appointments. One of the most important things to recognize is that when you see your doctor, you typically don't see the doctor first. You see the nurse or an assistant, and they ask you why you're there and how you're feeling. Now, a lot of people don't have that ability to be specific about how they feel or what the specific complaints are. And they'll say things like, oh, I'm okay, or I'm doing better, or just say something generic like that. And quite frankly, that's not the thing you want to tell your doctor. You want to be very specific about your symptoms. You want to let them know what part of your body hurts and how it hurts, so that the doctor, when he comes into the room, has a very specific understanding of where your pain is and how intense it is and how it's affecting you. So it's important for you to understand not to tell a confusing story about where your pain is located or how the pain feels to the nurse that comes into the room or to the doctor when they come into the room. Be specific, be honest, but also it's important not to exaggerate your pain. You know, doctors will examine you, they'll know if you're being honest. So be honest, don't exaggerate your pain. Tell them exactly where the pain is and tell them exactly how it's affecting you. That's not to say you should hide your pain or your limitations. Certainly you're going to need to know if you're going to need to be off work or what limitations the doctor will have. Some clients, unfortunately, will argue with their doctors, either about the care that they are recommending or about their medication. That's not something we certainly ever recommend to our clients. Your doctors are practitioners who are licensed by the state of Indiana, are qualified. It is important that you get along with your doctor, that if you have questions or you're confused, that you ask your doctor or the nurse practitioner that's there to explain that. You'll find that most doctors and nurse practitioners in the state of Indiana will be very helpful to explain not only why they're prescribing certain treatment or medications, but what you can expect from them. So a lot of it is just a good understanding with your doctor and working with the doctor. We ask that clients not discuss their litigation goals or the fact that there's a lawsuit or a claim with their doctors. Doctors seem to think sometimes that if you just discuss your litigation goals and only talk about that's more important to you than treating with them or getting better. So don't discuss at all the fact that Tom Blackburn or R.T. Green or whoever is representing you in the case, or make any statements about what your litigation goals are. Many people have a misunderstanding that if they had a prior injury in their neck or their back, that they're not entitled to make a claim in Indiana, and that's just not true. If you're in an automobile or motorcycle or truck accident and you injure your neck or back, and you had a previous injury many years ago from another accident, a high school, maybe football injury or a gymnastics injury or something, the fact that you had a prior injury doesn't have bearing necessarily directly on what your claim is in this particular case. If you re-injure that area or you aggravate an old injury, the law says that's compensable. So don't hide the fact that you've had prior injuries from doctors if they ask. It's important that you be completely honest. If you aren't honest, it could affect your case. Most importantly, when adjusters do evaluations of your case, they'll look at your medical records. They'll compare what you tell different doctors, therapists, and other people. They look for consistency and inconsistency of your reports of pain in areas of your body as well as the degree of pain. One of the things that they also use to try and devalue your case is the fact that you have no-shows or missed appointments with your doctor. They argue to us all the time on the phone that, you know, Tom, your client had 12 physical therapy appointments and they missed 6 of them. So number one, if they're hurt, certainly they would have gone to the doctor and got the treatment. And if they're not improving, then it's because they didn't make the effort to follow their doctor's advice. They failed to mitigate their own damage or to take their doctor's advice. So either way, it hurts our clients and it hurts you to get a good and full recovery. One last point to always remember is that when you're going to a doctor's appointment is to take his advice. Don't ignore your doctor's advice.